Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another unknown podcast episode. I'm here with Walter,
Hello.
and I got Sean again.
Yeet.
And of course, my name is Joe. Today, we are going to be talking about some Would You Rathers.
Would you rather?
I have a list of a bunch of Would You Rathers, and we're going to answer them and take turns and hopefully create some quality content.
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 Are we ready?
I'm ready. Let's do this.
So the first one, we're going to start off with this question. I know. Would you rather be free or totally safe?
Well, I'll kick us off here. Would it be free or totally safe? I think safety is a little overrated. Because the thing is, if you're totally safe and you're just like in your little fortified home and there's nothing can hurt you, what's the point of life? What's the point of doing anything? If you're free, you can do what you want. You might be killed in the process, but at least you're having a good time. I'd rather live a fulfilling and fulfilling short life instead of a long and boring one. That's my point.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with Walter there. I feel like life is pointless without any risk taking.
Send it.
Yes.
Send it.
I mean, if I feel like safety needs to be defined more. I mean, if it's like safety meaning that like you're just safe in anything you do, or if it's safety like it means like you can't do anything, you have to be clumped up inside so you're safe, I guess. But I feel like if safety is defined as just like being safe in whatever you do, like no matter what you do, I feel like I would choose safety.
Yeah.
But if I couldn't do anything, then I would definitely choose freedom.
Yeah, basically the same thing with you guys. All right. Next question. Would you rather have no one show up for your wedding or your funeral?
Sean, I think you want to do this one first.
Okay. I have to go with funeral here, cause I feel like weddings. I mean, like you can do like private weddings. You can like elope. That's pretty common. I feel like weddings also less important, just like the marriage or whatever.
Really?
Well, I'm not saying it's not important, but like I'm just saying like it's not important that people are there. I mean, it's nice to have people there, obviously, but like it's not like it wouldn't like hurt my feelings if no one came. I'll say it would, but like. Not as much as a funeral, but like, because I feel like at a funeral, like it's like an honoring of your life. I feel like if no one goes to your funeral, it's like no one cares about you.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like with like my funeral, it's just like I'm already dead, so I'm not gonna know if anyone's gonna be there or not. You know.
Well, no, you would like to know people came to your funeral.
You'd like to know, but like with your wedding, it's kind of like, oh, it's your big day, get something else, and you're right. It could just end abruptly, like, oh, you got married the next day. Oh, I want a divorce. So it might just be being a terrible thing.
Yeah.
I feel with funeral, it's honoring your entire life. Your wedding is kind of just your life up to that point. Your funeral's kind of like your entire life. So I'd rather have people come to my funeral than my wedding.
I actually would prefer. Wait. I would want people to show up for my wedding.
Yeah.
Because no. Excuse me. I could care. Sorry, I'm getting the question confused. I would rather have like a wedding by myself because I feel like that isn't as important.
Okay.
Like in terms of like who I am as a person, like I find like when I die and wherever I end up, whether it be if you believe in heaven or if it's just 6 feet underground or whatever, if I know that people that I considered best friends, great friends, people that I knew show up to my funeral and honor me, like you said, I feel like that would be a more satisfying thing to know than people showing up to your wedding, because your wedding is more of like a positive thing, and it's like, oh, all happy times, but like it's kind of like the unsung hero sort of deal, where it's like, I think I would want people to show up to my funeral because that way I would feel more like accomplished and stuff. That's my water.
This episode's sponsored by water. H2O.
I mean, that's just me, because I'm the kind of person that kind of feeds off of, like, things from others. I'm not, like, a solo-going person. I want to, like, when I do something, I want to be like, hey, like, did you like what I did and that sort of stuff? Like, I want to see, like, feedback.
Yeah.
And I feel like that kind of correlates with the I guess, like, the question. Like, I'd rather have people at my funeral. Anyway, next, would you rather? Would you rather live a low life with your loved ones or rich life all alone?
Well, let's just kind of.
I know my answer.
I know mine.
I know mine. You guys want to go first?
I am gonna go first. So, in all honesty, I think it would be okay if I lived alone. Cause well, okay, being rich is cool.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
You get to afford things that a lot of people can't.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying like, oh, I'm like a egotistical jerk, but
Mhm.
like, the thing that comes to mind for me, and I know I'm gonna sound like a huge nerd, is Tony Stark and Iron Man.
Okay.
He's
Oh my
rich
God.
and he's really cool. And just because like you're all alone doesn't mean you can't have friends.
I mean, doesn't Pepper live with him? Pepper.
Well, yeah,
Pepper-
yeah.
Doesn't Pepper live with him?
Peter Piper picked up Pepper.
So I mean, in
Okay.
that sense, I think I could somewhat cope with the like, and I'm assuming it means like being alone by like not having a significant other.
Yeah. I think
Like
that
I'm sure
means-
like you would have like friends and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just not a significant other, which is something I feel like I could personally deal with.
Okay. All right.
So I would rather be rich and all alone.
All right. What about you, Sean?
Well, point of clarification first. It's like. Can you read the question again?
Would you rather live low life with your loved one or rich life all alone?
Like poor versus rich.
This is gonna sound kind of cliche, but I would have to go low life with loved ones because
Uh-huh.
like I feel like if you're living alone, like I feel like that's like not the point of life. Like in my opinion, like I feel like life for me is like based around like relationships and like the friendships and the bonds you make.
We're defining all alone as in not having a significant other. So
Mm.
like you'll still have friends.
Oh,
and
okay,
stuff.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Like it's not like you're like all alone like
Okay.
on an island.
Oh, I thought we were defining it as
Yeah,
being like
yeah.
No, it's just,
completely
like,
isolated. Okay.
significant other.
Oh,
sort
okay,
of
yeah.
deal. Like you'll have
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. Then
Okay.
I would choose
Of
being
the
alone.
same
Then.
sex.
Yeah,
Oh,
I would choose being alone then. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well then, yeah. In that case, if you have still have friends and you're rich and you're fine, whatever, because like relationships can come
Or
and go.
limited friends.
Limited friends. Okay. I mean, I personally think I would try to choose the like, like a low life kind of thing like that because like I kind of live that already. Like I'm like I don't have a lot of money. You know, I'm kind of a poorer person. And I feel like money just wouldn't bring me that much happiness. I mean, it brings happiness to a certain degree. I don't know. Sean is just touching my shoulder.
Be closer to the mic.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
not too close. It needs to be balanced in the force.
The balance in the force. I feel like with me, I kind of already live that kind of low life. So I think I'd be personally fine with that instead of having all the money in the world because it really wouldn't make much of a difference for me at least. So yeah.
Okay. Next one. Would you rather rule the world or live in a world with absolutely no problems whatsoever? I know what I would choose already. I think this question's pretty
I'll
straightforward.
go first. I would say live in a world with no problems. In my opinion.
I mean, to me, that just makes sense.
Well, yeah, because like if there's no problems, what's the point of even being a leader? And also like if you're ruling the world, then like there's more stress put upon you to like
As a person,
as a person you have to like
Yeah.
to
run
solve the
you have to run
problems that wouldn't be-
everything.
Exactly.
Everything. You like
Like
obviously
art.
Birds.
like
yes,
obviously you
important.
have like shut up birds. Obviously you have like absolute oh my god. Obviously you have like absolute power, absolute rule. But like at the same time, like there's still problems in your life. I spat in the mic. There's still problems in your life, like, and if there's no problems, then what's the point of being ruler anyway?
I mean,
Yeah.
like it kind of reminds me of "Imagine" by John Lennon. That like
Oh,
song,
yeah.
like where it's
Imagine
like imagine.
all
Yeah, it's
the
an excellent
people.
song.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
And
Communism.
but like not having like terrorism and like having world peace and like things like that seems like a more just comfortable option, I think,
Yeah.
for all of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Instead of ruling the world and trying to fix those problems, why not just have them fixed
Exactly. Like
right off the bat?
Yeah, like I agree with that. Like ruling the world is kind of just like you have all that power, but for what for? Like it could all go to your head. You could like kind of lose everything, but it's just with like world peace. It's just everyone's better off, and you honestly are gonna live a more fulfilling life in that respect. Yeah.
So we all come to an agreement.
Yes.
Very nice.
I like that.
A world with no problems is a great world.
Indeed.
No pollution. It's
No
not for
pollution,
losers.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Alright, next one. Would you rather go back to the past and meet your loved ones who passed away, or go to the future and meet your children or grandchildren to be?
That's a tough one. Like going to the past or going to the future, which one would be kind of
I
better?
mean, I know what I would say, but
Okay, be good.
I would say go to the future.
Okay.
I feel like the only reason why is because shoot, reasons why. But the first reason why I would say is like it's easier like if you go to the past, like it's more like you could like say something to your past relatives that like alters the course of history.
Yeah, good point.
And like that could just screw everything up in the present and the future to come. So like I
Yeah.
feel like it's more dangerous to go to the past. And also another reason why going to the future is cool, just like see how far humanity has come.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So
It's true.
that's what I would say.
I feel like going to the future would be kind of cool. Like if you're on your deathbed, you might be like, oh, you want to see like what the world's gonna become.
Mhm.
You can just go to the future, you know. Like going to the past is nice. Like seeing like if you said you wanted to say someone to a loved one, you could just say like, oh, like I miss you, I love you, whatever you want to
Well,
say.
yeah, but at the same time that could be dangerous. Though.
Exactly. It
Like
could,
you
alter.
could be seen by other people who
Yeah.
who ask too many questions.
Exactly.
And then you're
you could be
found
like,
out
oh no, you know.
to be
Like,
from the future.
Exactly,
Yeah.
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 and plus, with the future, you could
Wow,
like
you're
take
just
some.
entering like an alternate time.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
I
this
mean-
is common knowledge with time travel.
Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
Because
the
there's so
butterfly.
much research on time travel.
Shut up.
Oh, there is. Oh, I mean, like I.
Have you
researched
seen
it.
any movie involving time travel, Joe?
The Matrix?
The Matrix.
Not
The Matrix.
Okay.
Okay. Joe, you.
So my thought is, so I am a big history person.
Okay.
I enjoy history and historical events and things like that
Why didn't you take A Bush then?
Oh.
because
Burn.
I didn't want to.
Mm,
And
good point.
so in that respect, I would want to go to the past, not like past to like World War II era, but maybe just in the past to talk to the relatives that I know that like fought in the war, just
Yeah.
to like sit down and just like interview them and just get like a better idea. Because obviously there's like movies and there's historical things and like all this kinds of research for certain events, but like actually sitting down with a person who experienced D-Day or who experienced JFK being assassinated or not, JFK.
Yeah.
And I think that's a lot more interesting than just like watching a movie or just like reading about it.
Yeah.
Because they were like there or they saw it. But at the same time, going to the future, I think would also be more satisfying in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it would be like you could see what you were able to do.
Yeah.
Whether that be in terms of like family and like if you were able to start a family or who the friends that you were kept or like the relationships that you had and that sort of stuff. And I feel like in that aspect, it's a little bit more satisfying to go into the future because you can see how like your life turned out. Because
Exactly,
like
yeah.
we're all curious as to like where we will be in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's like a deep question like think about. So I don't really know how to answer that one properly, but it's an interesting one nonetheless. Let's see. Would you rather know how you will die or when you will die?
I think. You want to go first or me to go first?
You can go first.
I think
Go first this time.
how I will die, like it was like, oh, if I get hit by a car, like it won't really change much. But if I know when I'm going to die, I feel like then I could be like, oh, I like if I'm gonna die at this day at this time, I can then plan stuff and get stuff done. Because knowing how you will die, you don't know. It's like, oh, it could happen in the next minute, and you won't know.
Plus,
you know?
I feel like if you know how you're gonna die,
You're gonna be afraid.
it creates a hysteria. Like,
Yeah.
oh no, I can't be near cars because now there could be the off chance that one kills me. So I would
Exactly.
have to agree with you that I'd rather know when,
Mhm.
because then up until that day, I will fully send it and make my life the best that it can be. Even if it's
Yeah.
tomorrow,
Mm.
I will spend the rest of today trying to do the things that I always wanted to do.
You know, I was gonna say how until Joe said that.
yeah.
Cause like I feel like with when you know how you're gonna die, like if you know when you're gonna die, you're just gonna be like dreading that day. You know it's coming. You're gonna be like, okay, I only have like this much time left on Earth. What am I gonna
Yeah.
do? It just
Yeah.
becomes like a stressful thing. But like
Exactly.
But like now that Joe said that, like it's just gonna there's like hysteria either way. Honestly.
Exactly,
I
yeah.
feel like there's more hysteria like knowing
With, like,
how you're gonna
knowing
die.
how-
Actually,
yeah.
so
And also,
I'm glad you said that.
you could, if you know, like when you're gonna say, like, oh, I'm gonna die in 20 years, you could change that. Just like
Don't-
like what happens?
Don't eat absolute crap.
Yeah, like what happens like if you know like you're gonna die in 20 years, but you know that, and then you just like die and like you die beforehand.
That's true.
That could alter something.
But I wonder if it's more like a locked thing where like
Yeah.
no matter what, whether you get hit by a car
yeah, that would be kind of
or
cool.
you get shot, whatever
You
the
will
case
not die
may
until
be, you
this
will
date.
not die.
That'd be
until-
kind of cool actually. If you like, so you could just be like, you just run into a car and you still don't die. You're like still alive.
Now here's another question.
Hmm.
If we knew, let's say for example, we're all gonna die in exactly 1 year.
Mhm.
Okay.
Or you know what? We'll make it even more worse. We're all gonna die in a month.
Okay.
Exactly at this time in 1 month. So
Alright.
February 20th, 2019. What would we do?
Like a bucket list kind of thing. Like.
Kinda, yes.
Okay. For me, I would definitely let's like if I knew like what was gonna like if I knew like I was gonna die on that date, we're all gonna die or just me specifically.
Well, I mean, all of us, but like it's like you specifically. Like, what are
Okay.
you gonna do?
Yeah.
specifically?
Okay, what would I do specifically? I would try to like travel a little bit, like try to like see some things, you know, like enjoy life with people around me, you know. Try some like kind of daredevilish things, like rob a bank or something like that. Just be like, guess what? I can do it, you know. Spread around the Unknown podcast to all my friends and make them listen to it at gunpoint. But I mean, that's
Well, man, I feel like the problem with like you said robbing a bank. I feel like the problem with that is like if you get caught, then they get to spend the rest of your 30 days in jail.
But you won't, because like
You could break out.
you could break out.
That's very unlikely though.
But I
I mean,
could.
he does bring up a valid point.
That's fair, but it'd still be worth it, I think, in my opinion. Take some risks, you know. YOLO.
What if you get caught though?
Oh well, I'll break out.
So-
Get the cheese.
Like
I'll have my buddy Eeyore send me a bomb.
Eeyore
Eeyore.
I don't know.
from Winnie the Pooh.
Eeyore.
It's
gonna
a-
send a bomb.
It's the first dumb name that came to my head. I don't know.
I'm the bomb.
So I would obviously 30 days like isn't a lot of time.
No, it
like in retrospect, like time goes quickly. Even though the days may seem to go slowly, the months and the weeks go quick.
That's true. Yeah.
So like you run out of time quick.
Yeah.
And so I would definitely try to just hang out with friends as much as I could, even though like let's say like we don't have to worry about school or anything. Like
Yeah.
we have like these 3 months off of school for whatever reason. So
Yeah.
we just have like a bunch of free time.
Yeah.
In that case, I would honestly just try to hang out with friends as much as possible. Kind of do like things that are like, I guess like intense or like what you were talking risky in a
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
Like, you know, explore bandos a whole bunch, and just like hang out with friends and like do stuff like that, because I would want to make it the most out of my time, because I mean, to begin with, life is short.
Very true.
So just make the best of it. I would hang out with my main man, Sean Carlisle, and some
Aw.
other friends.
And not Walter.
Not
and
me.
and make some podcasts too about
Yeah.
our life.
Yeah, not me.
I said make some podcasts, and that involves the 2 of us / 3 of us.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You're the bottom bitch, Walter.
Oh, damn.
Wow, he just cussed.
Oh,
We're not censoring this, by the way.
I know. We cursed in the last one.
a little bit. Anyway,
Yeah, we're
besides the point.
Beyond cursing.
And I would also try to be like, I would also just be more willing to like spend my money. kinda.
Yeah,
Since I
yeah.
know I'm gonna die in a month, like the money that I have, it's just like might
Buy
as well
some
spend
stuff.
it on some nice things that
Yeah.
I would enjoy for the month. And then when I go, I go. And then hopefully a lot of people will show up to my funeral and not my wedding,
Not
which
wedding.
I won't have in a month.
I will have a
Let's
wedding
hope so,
in a month.
yeah.
I'll have a wedding and a funeral.
I want to say something, but I'll say it off the air.
Oh, fair. Okay.
Okay. All right, next question, I guess.
Next question,
Oh,
Joe.
shit, I wasn't ready. Make space, noise.
Beep. Beep.
Would you rather end death due to car accidents or end terrorism? Terrorism.
So end car deaths or end terrorism?
Your deaths due to car accidents.
Okay, so end that or end terrorism.
Or end terrorism.
Definitely end terrorism.
Mm.
Like, I mean, like, I know that not that many people die in car crashes. And, like, not that many people get in car crashes. Wait, that's not such an
No,
See,
actually,
well, no,
no. A
here's
lot
the-
more.
Well, yeah, the amount of people get in car crashes, but like the amount of people that actually die
Die.
from car crashes per year is pretty low. Like honestly,
See, but that could also.
And, like-
I mean that. I mean, it just basically means that like people won't die from car crashes. So that means the people that drive under the influence of whether it be drugs or alcohol won't die when they.
But they
crash.
could
well, yeah,
if
but
they
I mean,
crash.
do you want to condone drunk driving now just because they know?
Well,
you
I'm
won't
not
die?
saying that. I'm
Well-
not saying it's a good thing.
Well, yeah.
But I'm just saying it would prevent those deaths from happening.
Well,
But
they can still get in car
inju-
crashes.
yeah,
They
they
just
can
won't-
still-
they
they
just
won't
won't
die.
die.
So
Yeah.
that's another thing. It's like people could get in car crashes, they don't die, but they're suffering.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
they have.
Yeah,
driving
that
ability.
doesn't end like
But,
being
like-
internally paralyzed.
Yeah, but from- yeah,
internally, it's
exactly.
leaving the world.
But if you're
completely
like,
paralyzed,
yeah,
I
but
mean,
if it's a terrorist attack, you can stop that. You can stop the terrorists from doing that.
But it doesn't mean they won't exist.
Yeah.
I feel like terrorism
That's
is a
the thing.
much bigger and more now
Oh no, I
problem than
totally
car
agree
accidents.
that
Yeah,
car
yeah,
terrorism is a
accidents
much
are.
bigger problem.
Yeah.
But I'm just like you guys are saying, like just because we're ending the deaths of car crashes
Doesn't
doesn't mean
mean
they're
we're
not
ending-
going to happen.
Well, yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same thing with terrorism. They're
Yeah.
still going to exist, wherever they exist, but they just
Exactly.
won't commit
Nice
commit
yawning.
terrorism. So I would definitely end terrorism, which kind of
Hey,
goes
baby,
along with like
too.
the world peace sort of thing.
Yawning is indeed contagious. By the way.
It is very. He just made me yawn. So Joe hasn't yawned yet. Probably because Joe hasn't
Because
listened.
I'm focused and I'm trying to make quality content.
Content.
Unlike you guys.
That doesn't happen anymore,
This
Joe.
is
Come
why
on.
This is a bad idea.
ASMR.
Okay.
All right, what's the next question?
This is going to be probably our last one, unless we can. I might be able to think of one off the cusp.
Okay.
I think I have one actually.
Would you
Okay.
rather read minds or accurately predict the future?
Read minds or.
I mean, is accurate like completely accurate?
Like accurate as in like you'll like let's say like yeah. Let's say you can see into the future and you just like know what
You
will
know what's
happen.
gonna happen.
You
Okay.
will-
Like
you will ac-
no matter what.
you will accurately be able to depict what happens in
Okay.
whatever amount of time. I would pick being able to predict the future accurately.
Okay.
Because if I'm able to predict, that means that I have to know.
Yeah.
And since it's accurately, that means like I will know the future,
Yeah.
which is pretty cool. And again, it comes back to that thing where like I'm interested to see where people will end up in
Yeah.
5, 10, 20 years, you know?
Exactly. Yeah.
So I would definitely predict the future.
Yeah, I agree with Joe because like I feel like with reading minds, I feel like you don't want to do that in some cases because
See,
like
but
yeah, some
like
things, yeah.
there's some thoughts that like shouldn't be out in the open.
Yeah.
I
Some
feel
things
like.
that you don't, and you
that
have that
you- and,
burden
like,
to know it.
Well,
If
you
you,
also
like-
have the choice.
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
you
well,
have the
yeah,
choice,
but
you
like
know?
I feel like if you read someone's mind, you can go like too deep and like learn too much about them.
someone.
Like,
Yeah.
like for instance, like, if I read your mind and you're like freaking something really freaky right now,
He's thinking some freaky stuff right now.
yeah,
Eh.
like Sean has a cute,
I mean,
like
it's
Sean
true,
has a cute
but
butt
I-
or
but
something
I-
like that. And, like, I don't even know,
Oh,
but
okay.
like you could read my mind and like I could like be creeped out by that and I wouldn't want to like.
Yeah.
See, but I feel like with reading minds, you have more of a chance of like succeeding in a sense, because like you're just thinking about it like we're sitting here, the three of us, and I'm reading your minds, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking of it as more of like you're in like a business like meeting or something,
Oh yeah.
and you can see what the other person's thinking, and then you can try to like manipulate them to
Yeah.
agree with you, or like
Which
if you're
that can be
trying to become a
dangerous.
psychiatrist, you can
Oh,
get
yeah.
into their mind and be like, you got this, and you'll be the best psychiatrist
Yeah.
in the world.
And that could be like good and bad, and the same thing with like being able to like predict the future, because like you could be like, I forget what her name is, but like some girl in like Roman mythology or whatever, she could like predict the future, but like no one would listen to her.
It's like
So,
the boy who cried wolf.
Bull
or
of
whatever.
Wolf, yeah, it's like you could say, oh, this is gonna happen, but if it's some outlandish thing, like people may not believe you, and then you're stuck with that truth of like this person's gonna die this time, or like this event's gonna happen, but no one's gonna listen to you, and then you feel like you're like responsible for that. It can definitely, both of them can take a toll on your mind, because it's just like it's so much power, you know. But I feel like predicting the future would be nice, but like more like predicting, like reading people's minds is more practical.
Right.
You know?
There's more practical uses. I feel like predicting the future, the only thing that I can think of outside of just like someone asking you is like the business opportunity.
Yeah.
But then there's like always the people that are like, that's like baloney or something like that. And but I would rather be able to predict the future accurately, because I feel like that would just be cooler.
That'd be cooler, yeah.
So we're all agreeing on that.
Okay, yeah.
I have one that kind of stems out from this one.
Okay, go for it.
I think we might have talked about this one before.
All right.
But we put it in 23 of us. But okay. So, would you rather have to speak your mind at all times, like whenever you're thinking, you have to talk, you have to like speak it out, or never be able to speak again?
That was actually one of the ones.
Oh, right, was it?
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, speaking everything on your mind is rough.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Because like sometimes
you
you
don't
think
wanna
of
speak.
things, and especially if the person's in your vicinity or you're talking to that person,
Yeah.
and something's on your mind where like it's not nice, like
Yeah.
that sucks. you know,
Exactly.
especially if you have to say it.
And you can ruin relationships with that way.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You
not
can- yeah.
but not being able to speak at all is like rough too because you can't communicate.
I mean, you can communicate in other ways. You can
But like sign language.
No,
but
you-
I
no,
feel
no,
like
you just
Wait,
like,
well, I mean, can you communicate? Like,
just
how
write
are we
some-
defining this? Like, can you communicate
Like,
at all?
well,
or-
well,
like,
never be able to speak.
Like,
guess.
Oh, okay.
So,
So
like,
like you
using,
can just
like-
write stuff down like I want to go home or
like your voice
you know,
box or whatever.
your voice
just
box
doesn't
doesn't work.
exist anymore.
like you can easily just like write stuff down and still have that kind of like you can still speak. It's just more difficult, more
It is
tedious.
more difficult.
and you can't
Evidently.
pronounce your emotions as much too
Mhm.
because like, it's like it's like that whole like thing where like if I were to text you like hey like I don't really appreciate like what you did or whatever like you don't know my connotation you don't know if I'm being sarcastic or if I'm being serious but if I tell you that in person
You
can-
know more.
you can
Yeah.
pick up on my vocal like
like and
and
you can pick up,
vocalness.
my vocalness
pick up on vocal cues.
vocal
Yeah,
cues
exactly.
and be
That's-
like,
that's-
oh,
that's
he's
the
being
term, yeah.
sarcastic and that sort of thing
Smarty pants.
but that's a tough one
Well, I feel like if you want to be like I'm serious, like you know with text messages, people get around them by saying like LOL, ha ha ha. Like you know like, people sometimes if they text with a period at the end, it's like they're serious.
Or
Right,
just
right.
Yeah.
or just K. You
Or
know?
just K, like you're like
the
K
singular
dot.
K.
like
K
you try
dot.
to send like the messages through like the text but you can't because
Yeah,
you know
it's sometimes it's difficult with the emotions around with that.
which is the power of speech because you're able to like emotionally attach it I guess if that or like
Yeah.
attach
Well,
emotion to it,
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
because it's
There's power behind
There's
words.
power behind
basically.
words,
yes.
Yeah.
and like it kind of sends to another question. Even like you could say like, would you rather never be able to speak or never be able to hear, like deaf or like can't speak?
So
Well,
deaf or can't
okay
speak.
see
Yeah.
this one has a loophole because I'm pretty sure there's a way to fix deaf
Well, there's like
let's
hear-
say, let's say
There's like
no
hearing
way.
hearing aids.
Well, yeah. Let's say there's no way. You like it's just there's all like there's just nothing.
Well,
You can't-
I mean, there's sign language.
yeah. Let's say,
That's the problem.
so
Like
you-
speaking,
you
people
could
unable to speak don't exist really. I mean,
yeah.
I
Mute.
mean,
Well,
like,
people can be mute.
I mean, there's like mental retardation and stuff like that, where it's like hard people speak, but like, I feel like
or like Alzheimer's or
Alzheimer's.
Right, yeah.
Well, because I also think like people who are like deaf kind of can't speak that much because I think there's like a linkage between that.
right yeah like
Yeah.
yeah I mean hearing the world I think is a pretty important
Yeah.
because not only is it good for just conversation like you know if one of us couldn't hear it would be a lot more difficult to produce these things because segueing and just having a conversation
Yeah.
it wouldn't be possible really we would have to type out everything and
Yeah.
then way they would know
Yeah.
but not being able to speak is difficult because you know it goes back to the whole emotion thing like
Yeah.
you can't really speak what you're what you're feeling in your head or you
Yeah.
can't say anything so again that's like another tough one I don't know
I
how
feel
to
like
answer that.
I feel like other way like if you're able to speak but you can't hear, you're kind of just you feel like you're just talking to yourself, and you're kind
Right.
of alone in that.
Yeah.
But if you can hear and you can't speak, you're still kind of alone because you can't vocalize. You're kind of everyone's around you, but you're just like in your own thing. You can hear everything, but you just can't be like, hey this or like hey that. You know, it's much more difficult. Like both ways, you're kind of.
Well, I
alone.
mean, going back to what you said before, you can still like there's like nonverbal.
Yeah, there's nonverbal.
communication.
Yeah, so it makes it easier. Personally, I would rather not speak and rather be able to hear because I think being able to hear everything, like you said, is like such an important thing. Be able to
It is,
listen
yeah.
to the sounds, sound of music.
But like even if it's not even like people even
Yeah.
if it's like just like nature
Yeah,
like
you wanna hear
sometimes
that.
there's just beauty in just going out and like just sitting on a bench and just like listening to
Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Because it's so just like nice and peaceful and
Yeah.
relaxing and you know I think it's important to like have that ability to do that thing or to do like anything with hearing
Yeah.
so I don't know I can't answer that one either
See,
rough.
that's the tough thing with like would you rather. It's just like they're both like there's so many pros and cons to each situation that it's difficult to be like like some of them there's like an easy answer, some of them there's not. You know, most of them it's just like it's this and this. They both have like right and wrong. It's that's what makes it fun though. That's what makes this fun.
That's my phone. All right. So I think that's all the would you rathers that we have time for and that we're going to kind of go with for right now. So thank you for listening again. If you want to answer any of our would you rathers that we answered, leave it in the comments.
Or leave your own if you want. We can
Oh
talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah.
leave your
Leave
own.
your own. We could talk about them. You know,
And we can always answer them. Any final words?
words.
There you go.
Words.
Thanks for listening. And
Final
see ya.
words.